been overloaded. Huh. Always, is there anybody in here like me that's a huge fan of making sure NASA can see my house between November and January the 6th?
Who? NASA?
Christmas lights.
Christmas lights.
Oh.
I'll have 5 electrical cords running across the lawn. And yes, they say heavy duty, and they say outdoor. But what they don't say on the package is, hey, if you run this electrical wire for 8 hours a night for 2 months, it's gonna be safe to use at the end of that time period. I'll pick those things up. They're sticky. They've been laying out in our hot sun, because even in the wintertime it's hot here. Getting run over by the guy on the lawnmower that does my yard. Okay. And running all night long. Because if I don't go out and turn the lights off, I'll forget about it and go to bed. They're still on all night. That electrical cord needs to go in the trash at the end of the season. So if you have electrical cords in your house that you've had for years, you need to inspect them. Look at them. Turn them over. If they got brown spots, if you adjust them one way and the lamp comes on and you adjust them the other way and the lamp goes off, there's a break in the wire, discard that extension cord and get you a new one. All right. Never use 3-prong ground plugs with the 3rd prong broken off. That grounding plug is for a reason. Now, they do make certain equipment, medical equipment, that only has 2 prongs. One's bigger than the other. Those are designed specifically with what's called a polarized plug, okay? And it has an additional like 3 to 4 inches of plastic toward the working end of that cord that protects it, okay? So those are called grounded tools or grounded equipment. They won't have that additional or 3rd grounding prong. Here's another tip for you. If you go to the store and you see the adapter, say you're in an old house and the living room like mine only has 2 plugs. Everything is 2-prong everywhere. But I want to plug something up that's 3-prong. They do make adapters that you can buy that have the 3-prong on the front side and the 2-prong on the other side. But here's the thing you need to keep in mind. Just because you can adapt your plug and put it in there does not mean that your item is grounded. If your item came with 3 plugs, it's because it needs to be grounded to protect it in the event of a power surge. So some of those will come with a little metal tab that you can fold up. You back the screw out on your plate, you plug it in, and then you screw the screw back in. Now that gives a little bit more grounding protection to whatever you were going to plug into that outlet. So keep that in mind. All right. Bathrooms, areas that are going to have water, will always have ground fault circuit interrupters, GFCI. Okay. Now, if you were in a home that predates the 1940s, maybe you don't have those. But in your kitchen, in your bathrooms, if there's a sink and you're going to have electricity, there has to be a ground fault circuit interrupter plug. Okay. How they work is they have a test and reset button. They are designed to trip if there is a 5 milliamp leakage detected. That's to keep you from getting electrocuted, because water does conduct electricity. Anyone that was a teenager and decided they were going to listen to their radio or talk on the phone in the tub found that out quickly. My sister. So, but you do want to check this, because it's a device just like anything else, and it doesn't protect you if it doesn't work. So if you're using your curling iron and all of a sudden you come back and your curling iron's not working, you're like, I just bought this thing. Check your ground fault circuit interrupter. It might have tripped. You just have to hit the test button and then the reset button, plug your item back in, and it should work fine. So most companies will have what's called ground protection programs in place that include policies of the equipment that you can use and how to use it safely, to include what equipment you can plug up where. Now, I can tell you in healthcare facilities, they will have specially color-coded plugs. So in some of the rooms, they have orange plugs. Those orange plugs are designed specifically for certain equipment because they know it's rated to handle that equipment. It won't damage the equipment, because the last thing you want is to damage some type of equipment that is used to check a patient's vitals, and now when you go to the next patient, you don't know whether it's accurate or not. Okay. So they will make those plugs known to you. They color code them. All right. Any questions? I know I covered a lot. Any questions about what I covered with electrical? All right, a couple little questions here. Which of the following are considered electrical hazards? All of them. Number 2, a worker is standing on freshly mopped floor and is adjusting products on a metal shelf with which there is a bare wire in contact. Which hazard is present? Contact with energized sources. Why? Because that bare wire is touching that metal. What's that electricity going to want to do? Follow the metal down to the ground. And if you come in contact with that metal shelf, it's going to see you as being standing on the ground. It's going to flow through you. Which of these does OSHA require employers to construct and install to minimize electrical hazards? What do we think?
No.
I know that one's kind of tricky, right? B is the only one I think is suspect. Yeah. Because usually the manufacturer creates those and you might buy them and plug them in. But all the other stuff, the employer should be making sure those things are constructed and installed properly. Okay, how does GFCI protect you? What's that? A, it detects when there's a current leakage and it cuts off the electrical flow. Last 2, is using a 3-prong plug with a missing ground post safe or unsafe? Unsafe, because it's not going to do the job it was designed to do. Is it safe or unsafe to pull on a cord to remove the plug from the wall receptacle? Unsafe. Unsafe. People, please, if you remember nothing else, do not hold your tools by the cord. Do not use the cord to yank stuff out of the wall, because that plug and that cord are connected by 3 points of contact by 3 wires. And if you mess up any one of those, you can short out your tool or you can cause an electrical fire. Most electrical fires, by the way, occur in fixed wiring. And fixed wiring is wiring that's hidden behind the wall. Overheats, or somebody drives a nail or a screw through it. Okay. So for question 3, we were right. It was A, B, C, and D. All right, so we have one activity left. That way I can see if y'all were paying attention. And that was the handout that I gave you. So you guys can work in groups. Okay. Read the scenario and discuss amongst yourselves what you think is occurring based on everything you have just learned.
Well, I'm gonna go. I like to. You said work in groups. A group. We are a couple. We need a group. Look at her. Let's go sit by her. We don't go sit by her. Obviously, she ain't gonna come. Can we be in your group? Or can I be in your group? Hey, listen. I don't want to be right here. I'm gonna come on this side. Right. Right. That's all. Oh, my bad. My bad. No, it's like not. It's just for like my. Oh, you? How about we all do your group? Like, y'all is crazy. So let's see. Read the facts. Lord, who gonna read? I know I can't read. Okay, so you're at work one day and a coworker starts screaming. He got shot. It looks like he saw something smoking. It smelled like it's burning, and his extension cord is not. His extension cord is getting hot enough to burn his hand. You walk over and you look at one scene and start shaking your head. Well, I know what the problem is, and I explain if you stop shouting. What you gonna tell him? So, fact sheet. What's the fact sheet, right? Yeah, on the back. Oh, we gotta read the conditions. It's a setup. He had a cord, right? It looks like if it smells like it's burning. Wait. This is hard. It's getting hot enough to burn his hands. So that's like. Okay, I'm gonna just say it got wet. Nope. Maybe core damage. Core damage. What y'all think? You can read it out loud.
Well, I don't know. They be messing me up. Like I gotta see the words.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, how can you be in a group and y'all not reading out loud?
Y'all can read out loud. I'ma still have to read on my own. Yeah, I gotta see the words.
Yo, oh man, that's cute, girl. Thank you, girl.
Now I can read it though. If you can, that works for you. It say in terms of conducting electrical current size matters. The size of the electrical conductor. Take a look at the following table regarding amplitude, securing carrying capacity of a conductor in amps. And then you got the little chart right there. It say Notice that a 8 wire is twice the diameter but 4 times the area of a 14 wire. There are a couple of practical applications here. For one thing, the gauge of the wire determines the rating of a fuse or circuit breaker in amps. A circuit wire with 14 amps will get a 15 amp circuit breaker. A circuit breaker with 12 copper can get a 20 amp breaker. 10 copper can get 30 amps and so on. The second thing to consider is that it's possible to create a fire hazard by overloading an extension cord. This occurs when too much current is flowing in a conductor that's not heavy enough for the electrical load in amps. The circuit can be properly wired and its circuit breaker correctly rated, but if too much current flows through an extension cord whose wires are too small, the cord will heat up. Sometimes there's also a voltage drop over a long extension cord, which can damage your tools. With the wide use of power tools on construction sites, flexible extension cords often are necessary. Because they are exposed, flexible, and unsecured, they are more susceptible to damage than is fixed wires. Hazards are created when cord connectors, receptacles, and cord and plug connected equipment are improperly used and maintained.
Now, what's the question? Okay, the question is, go
The
ahead.
first one, I think it's because, it says the wires are too small. If the wires are too small, the cord will be up.
So let's read the scenario to her first, though. The scenario: you at work one day and a coworker starts screaming. It looks like he saw something smoking. It smells like it's burning, and his extension cord is getting hot enough to burn his hand. You walk over and you take one look at the scene and start shaking your head. Well, I know what your problem is, and I explain it if you stop shouting.
So yeah,
So, yeah.
it said the circuit can be properly wired and the circuit breaker correctly rated, but if too much current flows through an extension cord whose wires are too small, the cord will be dead. So that's why it's heating up.
So it's heating up because,
The cords are too, the wires are too small.
okay, so he was talking like friendly to him. Like, well, I know what your problem is, and I explained this. No, he wouldn't be friendly, but so if that's his attitude, so how we gonna say?
The wires are too small.
You want me to write it? I'll just write it. So I'm saying, okay, I'm saying to you, okay, I know what your problem is. What is your problem? Which wire? Does it say? Okay. Just like you're saying, your wire is too small. Or what else? The wire is too small. I'm about to call my grandpa. Because he's an electrician.
Oh.
I don't know. Okay, so wait. Maybe the problem was it was too much current. You don't think that's the problem? Because I don't know. I mean, not the,
So it's too much.
Yeah, like kind of look,
I'll Google it.
it was too much current flowing.
Okay, let's look at the current then, obviously. I need a highlighter. Two things, the amount of the current a wire safely carries increases as the area decreases.
Well, we're supposed to answer all of them, right? I just want
I'm gonna Google it.
No, she mean like, was it they're asking several
Because
questions?
it's not making sense.
when we're supposed to answer all of this.
No, I just did it.
Go
Small
over.
ones. Yeah, I just did it.
That's okay.
So tonight I'm gonna start studying for the second I told you that.
So what did you learn from that scenario?
I don't want to be an engineer.
I'm going to always expect the wire on the extension cord. I know sometimes I put it behind.
Everyone reacts to situations differently.
So size matters.
I'm out. How to protect yourself from electrical hazards. So they're all preventable. That's the important thing to know. They are preventable. So in that scenario, what happened? Why was the person yelling?
Because it got burned.
Okay, got burned. How did he get burned? Or she get burned? So the cord was eaten up. So what was the like cause of that hazard? Overload. So when you purchase a tool, always read to see what it says it needs in the way of electrical watts or electrical current to operate. So you don't use an extension cord that is too small to accommodate the tool. Okay. If it says it needs to be grounded, you now know what that means and why. Good stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So it was because it was overloaded and not plugged in.
Was overloaded. That is one of the most current hazards for a lot of us in our homes too, is overloading a circuit. And of course, we have circuit breakers that are there to protect the wiring. It won't necessarily prevent you from getting shocked. So some of those old wives' tales that your grandparents might have told you, like don't take a shower, take a bath during a thunderstorm. There was some truth to that, because if their houses weren't properly grounded and electricity or a lightning struck too close, that electricity could travel through the house and interact with the wiring. Most of our homes are grounded. And if you look closely, you can find where they're grounded at. Usually in two places, where the electrical wiring come from the line and go into your house. And then somewhere in older homes or homes that are on that are not on a slab, you might find where they have grounding markers, where they actually have a wire that's grounding to a metal pipe that's in the ground. And that is grounding your house. I am standing in the classroom right now. Okay. On my end, I'm getting ready to
We do.
leave out, I was just gonna recap what it is. So just let me know when you get to the paper. Okay. All right. All right, ladies, well, those handouts, of course, are yours to keep. You don't turn those back into me, but I hope that you guys learned something new.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You did great.